gosh, Valve, get out of here. So many freaking pop-ups when I start my computer up again. Yeah. It's probably a way I can fix it, but I just don't really know what that solution is. Hello, people. Hello. Welcome in. We have a couple people joining. Let me get you up on my phone. Okay, here we go. Monitor live. And we have 2 people. Fantastic. Hopefully you guys have been having a fantastic Friday. It's been a pretty good Friday for me. I'm here with my guitar. But the topic tonight is what's been on your mind lately. We can talk about literally anything. With the idea of having healthy dialogues to show that it can be done. And progressing, seeing what we're doing on this earth together, and going from there. So that's what's going on. Welcome in. And we will play guitar. Hey, Priestley, how's it going? Yes, I'll invite you up. Oh, let's get you up here.
Hello.
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 How's it going?
Well, I got sunburned for like the 60th time this summer already.
Oh, yeah, it's been toasty. You got kind of a buzz going on in your background noise. That's okay.
It's probably my fan. I have my fan on.
That's okay. Okay. You've been sunburned for the 60th time?
Not 60th. I just like to use a hyperbole because it feels like I've been sunburned every day this year, and I don't like getting out that much. But
you know. Put aloe vera? Is that what you're supposed to put on your arm? Aloe vera?
No. Well, if you have sunburn, you're not supposed to use aloe.
Why is that?
No. Hold on, let me look that up. I don't remember why. I know why, I just can't remember.
I thought I did that when I was young. When I was a very young kid, I put aloe on my sunburn. And it felt good, but maybe not for the long term. Maybe not. I don't know. Kirby! Whoop. All right.
Hello, Kirby. Aloe lotion. These can be fine for daily moisturizing, but they're not the best choice for sunburn. Many contain added ingredients that may dry out or sting sunburned skin. One study even found that aloe lotions are less effective than aloe gels for sunburn relief.
Oh, I think I used a gel back in the day. But I'll keep that in mind.
Probably, like the green bottles.
Yeah. I don't really sunburn easily anymore. I've been outside pretty consistently since I could. And
I'm like a vampire. I try to stay out of the sun.
The sun is
I'm so
nice.
pale. That's probably why.
Being out in nature, that's the best. Just walking around.
I like going out in nature. It's just being in the sun that I don't like.
Right. Kirby, how's it going, man?
Hello, guys.
Hello. I don't think you've met Priestley. Priestley, this is Kirby. Kirby, this is Priestley.
Hello.
Yeah, you're kind of muffled, Kirby. I can kind of. You're very muffled. Very muffled. Extremely muffled.
Hello.
I can kind of hear it. It's kind of soft though.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
That's I can hear you better. Yeah.
It's the fit. Yo, it's too hot for this, bro. I need
no.
a play.
Okay. That leads me into what I was wanting to talk about actually. So the 4th is tomorrow, and there's gonna be lots of fireworks.
There is.
I like fireworks. It's just I don't think we should have them with how dry and hot it is, unless you want to lose a hand or two.
Ooh. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's if you're not because there's more risk of brush fires and stuff like that.
Right. I don't think that's like if we call a ban on fireworks, it's gonna be like wild. Like no one's gonna get on board.
Everybody's gonna do it anyway, even if it is banned.
Right, because you can still get fireworks. Well, I mean, probably, most likely somewhere.
But like with those big ones that you get out of state.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there are so many big ones. It's crazy. I know someone who went with it was actually with my sister. She told me this. Her and a few coworkers went to Illinois to get a whole like it was $1,600 worth of fireworks, and it's cheaper in
Oh,
Illinois than it is in Indiana. And they don't. He doesn't have that big of a car. The coworker doesn't.
yeah.
So everybody was holding on to fireworks. There were fireworks in the trunk, fireworks on the floor, all that. It was kind of funny hearing that.
Do you guys have any?
But
Oh, go ahead. My bad. My bad. Boop, 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 boop.
yeah, I usually say like but yeah, and then I'll end the sentence there. That's sometimes how I
You're
end
okay.
sentences.
That's okay. That's okay. Do you guys have any plans for the 4th?
No. Well, I was thinking. I asked my grandma because usually she has a cookout on the 4th or around that time, but she said she's not having one this year because um they will be harvesting wheat. They live on a farm, they're a farm family. They'll be harvesting wheat and baling straw tomorrow, so
Ooh.
they won't be able to do that.
Nice.
I'm so glad I'm not going to be doing that. I hated doing the straw thing.
Oh, the straw thing. I thought you meant. I thought you were gonna talk about like, going over to like go with people.
Oh, no. I'm fine with family get-togethers. I'm fine. There are some people that I don't like there, but
I think we might have talked about that because I think I remember you talking about something with your family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So that
I
is
have,
it.
yes.
Okay, that's right. Okay, yeah. That's
Um,
doing the straw. Doing the straw's not.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't be the one baling the straw. They have like a thing that automatically bales it. If you feed the straw into it and it automatically bales it.
Right, and then picking up on the trailer. Right, that's the hard part.
And then they have to go put up on a flatbed. The flatbed has to be transported to a barn. Then there's a elevator. We call it the elevator. It's like a slanted thingy. I don't know how to explain it, but it's slanted, and there's like a chain that's in a that goes around in a oval because of how long it is, and it has hooks that you drop the straw bale onto the elevator, and it'll hook and go up, and there'll be people in the barn loft, and they'll grab it and they'll put it away.
Huh.
I am so glad I'm not doing that. I hated grabbing it and grabbing onto the twine
Like the
is what I
twine,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah,
called.
Yeah.
And then you just have to you have to drop it because I can't. My fingers hurt so bad from that, even if you're wearing gloves.
Well, yeah, you had to wear gloves, definitely. I did that for a friend
And then
in the past, and it was, whew, good thing I was like in shape back then, because like we're not in shape now. Womp. But anyways, back in the day, it was a good time. Well, was it pretty?
back in the day for me it was not. No, not for me though. And with how hot it's gonna be, I'm so glad I'm not doing that. But the thing I'm kind of worried about well, partially is because of the heat. My grandpa has Parkinson's, and there have been times where he'll be in the field, he'll be harvesting, and this has happened multiple times that I've heard of. He will be all by himself in the field, and he'll fall. He's lucky he hasn't hurt himself. I mean, he's had both his hips replaced, and I think at least one of his knees. I know one knee has been replaced.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he has to walk with a walking stick. So it's like, I'm just worried. I know he's gonna do it anyway. He shouldn't be working that as much as he is, but he's stubborn, and he doesn't want to come across as weak, which he's not, even if he doesn't do this. But he's not like he was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like he's 80 now.
Yeah, I think with some people, like my dad's like a really big workaholic. Like he's constantly doing something outside or around the house, and if he doesn't do something, like he's usually doing something. So like I can see it being the case, like maybe for your grandpa, like if like he just has to.
It's basically all he's ever known.
Right.
So to give that up would just be like giving himself up, because that's what he's grown up to do.
Right. But yeah, that's.
But it's worrying. It worries everybody
Yeah.
because, like, I like, this is something I enjoy doing when it comes to harvesting. I don't harvest. I've never harvested. It's not my thing. I don't ever want to go and drive a combine. That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would go with my grandma to take lunch or supper to the field. I like doing that. It was cool. Not just because of the food, but um, and this actually happened last fall. I was spending the weekend with my grandparents, and my grandma took food to the field, supper to the field, and my grandpa got out of the tractor and walked up to the car and he ate his meal and he said this so casually I had to do a double take. I had to let it sink in before it like um he said I fell earlier.
Oh, just out of the blue. It's like, yeah.
Out of the blue.
Aw.
Like that's not good.
Right.
And he was by himself in the field. It was just him. Everybody, all the other people that work in the field were in other fields and doing other stuff.
Yeah, yeah. That's gotta be difficult. Getting to that age and just not being able to do what you used to do, of course. And I can see that being like concerning,
Right.
like a family member. Just hearing about it for one, but also knowing that they're still going out into the field afterwards. So I can see that being concerning.
Yeah. Another thing that relates to that's kind of, I don't know the word for it, but when he and my grandma pass, they have multiple fields, many acres. Who, if anyone, is going to take those fields? Because he will never sell while he's still breathing. He will never sell
Yeah.
any of his acres or crops.
Well, how
It's
would
just
it
like
pass,
if
how do you
he
pass it on to the next person though? Like, or who would take the next?
in the
Like, how
will
does that?
probably.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But how does that? Okay, so like someone in your family would take ownership. But like, would that be something
One of the
they
kids
want?
probably.
Yeah.
I can think of one of my uncles that would want it because he grows produce, so maybe he would like to keep it. Maybe they'll split it. I don't know how that's gonna work. I just
Right.
worry that if it's given to the wrong person in the will, they'll just sell it to developers just for the
Yeah.
money.
And that's
I
what I
know
was
one
thinking.
person who would do that.
Oh no.
Um,
Yeah, my grandparents. I don't know what they're gonna do with their farm after things happen. Because they're getting pretty old too. Um, and I don't know who's gonna take over for that. I don't think anyone in the family. I don't know. Well, actually, I haven't talked with them for a little bit, so maybe someone would take it. Um, but yeah.
it's kind of sad because, like, I grew up in the country, right?
Hmm.
And there were so many fields, so many people work in the fields when I was a kid. And as time has gone on, I see more and more for sale signs on those same fields, and some are being turned into homes. And it's like this farmers are needed, but not not everybody wants to be one. And
Right.
it's like farmers are diminishing.
Yeah, I see that too. Um, as like there seems to be less and less younger farmers, but my brother he's farming and he's into that and he's really passionate about what he does, um, and he's found two people that like a family like a son and his dad own a farm and they're like gonna give him ownership after
Cool.
their son wants to retire. So like it kind of worked out for him. Well, it did work out for him, and it's something that's gonna work out. So yeah, it's. But I'm not seeing like other like younger farmers. Well, I mean, let me see. In my hometown, there's one in my class I know of. I don't know if he's still doing it. Um,
I
and then
only know of older people.
someone
I don't
I
know
went to
any.
college with wanted to be a farmer instead of go to college, but I think he's doing really good with what he's doing right now. So I don't think he's farming. So I'm trying to think of if I know any younger farmers that's not family. So I don't know. I really don't.
And it's like, with where I am, Indiana is like the corn state. What's going to happen when all the farmers are gone and there's What's the state going to be known for then?
Indiana, the Hoosiers, right? Is that
Yes.
I'm from Nebraska, so that's also the Cornhuskers. So we husk corn. Yeah. Um, yeah. Well,
I just know that I would rather not. I wouldn't. I mean, I don't do this anymore, but like, I would never be a farmer the way my grandpa is.
the way, like, what do you mean by that?
Like, the crops and the animals, because he
Oh
has
yeah.
both.
Like you'd probably rather do animals. I'm assuming, right?
I would have a pet pig, yeah.
Nice, nice. That'd be awesome.
Just one though, just one.
Just one. That'd be good. That'd be good.
I can't remember. Is it? I think it might actually be Arkansas. Maybe it is Nebraska. I don't know. But they have bigger fields than Indiana does, so they have to have bigger tractors like the Big Bud. The Big Bud tractor is so intimidating to look at.
Big Bud. Let me look it up. Big Bud. Big Bud tractor. Whoa.
They were
Holy
built in
moly.
Montana.
Jeez Louise, that's a huge. That's something. That's
Yeah,
something.
very intimidating.
Holy
And
moly.
from what I learned is that like a tractor will go around in a circle, then start a new row, and then all that jazz with whatever's hooked onto the back. With a big bud, they can't do that. They have so much horsepower, but they cannot do a full turn with whatever's attached to the back. So they have to have it detached. The tractor by itself will turn around, and then a smaller tractor will have to turn the attachment around, and then they'll have to rehook it up just to do another row.
It sounds like a pain in the butt. Why have the tractor if you can't even turn it?
Right?
Like what's
It'll
like what's
jackknife.
the tires look like they'll crush the corn. Like what kind of like
I don't know why they would use that. Like, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, granted, some John Deere tractors and other tractors, like all tractors, well, I shouldn't say all, a lot of tractors have big tires, but they don't crush the crop.
right. Huh.
Which I'm surprised, especially with combines, when they have to harvest corn.
Yeah. I know they're getting
Like, how do they not
more
crush it?
I know they're getting more technologically innovative. Is that the right way to say it, Brady? Where there's like literally GPS within the tractors that
Yeah, yes,
guide
yes,
it
yes.
guide it along the rows. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So you don't have to like
My grandpa
manually
will never
turn
buy a
around.
brand new tractor. He
Yeah.
will never buy a brand new tractor. He hates technology enough as is. I mean, he had to learn how to use the GPS, but he does not like using the newest tractor he has is 2020.
That's pretty new.
But yeah, I mean, the other stuff are like early 2000s, 1990, something like that. But yeah, he doesn't use that tractor because it's too technologically advanced.
Yeah.
Which I understand. I can understand that.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. Like my brother showed me like an app where you can like track your irrigation and see. Well, I forgot what it's all about to be honest, but they get pretty techy, which is kind of cool. Um, but yeah.
They made a self-driving tractor, and I just hate that. I'm turning into my grandpa. I hate that.
Well, that's kind of like what the
I
tractors are
mean,
doing for the most part with the newer ones. If you hook it up
well,
to
yeah, but you still
GPS
gotta turn the wheel.
at
The
the end,
GPS
yeah.
just tells you where to go, but like still have to drive it.
Well,
Like with the one
not the ones that my brother uses, because I rode with him in the combine,
oh
and it literally just like it knows exactly where it should be at in space and the coordinates, and the GPS guides along the row. But like you'd have to turn around at the end, like it beeps at you or something like that for you
oh
to turn
well,
around.
the 2020 tractor my grandpa has, you still have to drive it. It just tells you if you are going too far off the row.
Oh,
Like, it'll
I see.
beep at you, and then it'll beep at you when it's time to turn.
Oh, nice. Okay. Huh.
So you still have control of the tractor. You just have a little bit more guidance than doing
Right.
it blind. Really.
Right. Yeah, it's really interesting. Just like riding along with my brother sometimes, just seeing how it's done, right? And
It's so uncomfortable,
uncomfortable. What do you mean?
so bumpy.
Oh, in the combine or like in a tractor? Yeah.
Well, both.
Mm,
I've been in the combine before. One of them.
yeah. Those are pretty cool.
There's a song. One of my favorite songs. I don't like country really. I don't listen to the new stuff. That's garbage to me, in my opinion. But there's one song that resonates so deeply with my family, with my dad's side of the family, and it's called International Harvester by who's it? Who's it by?
An
And it has the sound of a
international
combine,
harvester.
and it has the sound of a combine starting up in the beginning. And I just love
Nice,
that song. It's
nice.
so relatable. Like, if you don't
Craig
like the
Morgan,
way
yeah.
I'm driving, yes, if you don't like the way I'm driving, head back on the interstate. Otherwise, keep quiet and play nice and quit your honking at me.
Nice.
And
That came out like
it's
in like
so
the
relatable.
2000s, I think. 2000s, late
Yes,
2000s country.
it's
Um,
such a good song. It
there's
sounds good, and I love it.
there's still good country coming out today. It's just not on the radio or like the popular stuff I'm doing.
Yeah, it's just country is turning into pop. It's not even
Not the
country
good stuff.
anymore.
Not the good stuff.
Right. Johnny
I don't.
Cash would be so disappointed.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, music evolves into different things, and that's okay. I think. But for me, I just cannot get on board with the country pop. I just can't.
No.
Um, some pop's okay, like regular pop, like 2000s pop. I don't listen to too much
Yes.
newer music. Well, my friend shared like what's his name? He played at the Super Bowl. What's his name? Big Bad Bunny.
Bad
Yeah.
Bunny?
So like music like that, like Spanish music, which is like
I
upbeat.
may not
This is
understand what
cool.
he's saying, but I
Right.
like his
It's
music.
catchy. It's
I
catchy.
watched the entire Super Bowl halftime show.
I didn't even see
That's all
it.
I cared about.
I just I didn't watch any of it. When was that? February. So I still homeless? Yeah, I was homeless, but I wasn't gonna watch anyways. We can
Guess how much I spent on the combine and tractor together. I don't even want to know. Those are so expensive now.
Kirby. What are you doing for the 4th of
Um,
July? I couldn't even think about
for
it.
the 4th of July, probably gonna eat some food and then like go out and watch fireworks with my sibling.
Nice. With your family, you said?
Yeah, sibling.
I actually don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
I think I'm gonna get on live in the afternoon and do an animation tutorial. I think it's gonna be fun to do.
$875,000. You're
Damn.
joking.
Huh? Whoa,
Wow.
Eight
For a
seventy.
tractor and a
Oh, here I
combine.
see.
Uh-huh.
Alex for truth, dude. Alex, yeah, let's get Alex. Oh, Alec.
Hold on, little K9. Are you a millionaire?
That's what I'm wondering. Like,
That's
well,
like those.
I mean,
That's
farming is a very, very sustainable lifestyle. I think. I mean, I did hear in Indiana, which I'm so happy they're doing this because like farmers need more respect. They're going to put into effect soon that farmers, independent farmers, will have to pay less in taxes if they sell their crops to companies,
Interesting.
okay,
which I'm so happy about. That makes me so happy.
Hey, little K9, send me a few bucks. You got
But you see what that? Do you see what that is though? And what the problem is with that is that they're promoting a corporate partner relationship with our farmers and cutting off more local sourcing and local farming. They're like, hey, go with the big business. It's a pressure tactic.
Oh.
It's not really like they're framing it as a positive thing. Like, hey, tax cuts. Yeah, if you sell to Monsanto, if you sell to big corporations, and if you sell to the little guy, you don't get those tax cuts. So you're cutting out local industry, local supply, local business. Not a
Well,
good
now
thing.
I'm disgusted.
Yeah, it's a tactic, and it's a thing that the Republicans wanted to do for a while, and it's
Go
annoying.
figure. Indiana can't do anything right.
Yeah,
So,
it's
like,
if you read between the fine lines, you're like, wait a minute, what does that mean? You get a tax reduction if you sell to companies. Well, let's break down what they mean and define as company, and they're talking about larger corporations.
Oh, I didn't
That's
realize that.
gross.
I'll talk to
I
my brother
didn't
about
either.
this. Because like you can sell to anyone, right? But like, right? As a farmer, you
Yeah,
can pick who you sell
yeah,
to.
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, interesting. Huh?
Unless you are employed under a corporation as a farmer. So like if you work for Tyson Farms, right,
Excuse
to
me.
raise the chickens for their product, they may dictate a lot of rules. But if
Yeah.
there are also independent farmers. Actually, an issue independent farmers deal with is they get sued a lot because the crops that Monsanto plants are genetically modified, so they're patented. So when their
Oh.
crop seed flies into their fields, they sue them because they're saying you're growing our patented product without paying the licensing fee. So then they sue them into bankruptcy to get rid of the local farmers.
Jeez.
What is like
That's a really common tactic.
what's like the benefit for people to want bigger corporations to take over farming? Like what can a sane person take away from this if they were following along with this logic?
To be honest, no American really not. I don't want to say no American, but the vast majority of Americans don't seem to really care about the food industry and don't really take the time to think about the process that goes into the products we buy and who's behind that. And it's because a lot of it is they see a lot of products and they go, "Oh, okay, I can buy this, this, this. I don't see an issue." But it's really like 5, 6 companies creating the illusion of choice, and they create
Right.
fake rival companies that produce the same thing, or they'll buy out their rivals and then they'll keep producing the drink and presume they won't tell you. They'll just presume that they're still rivals.
What?
Right, like Nestle.
Yeah, and it happens in every industry. It doesn't just happen even in food. It happens even in the gaming industry. That was a very
Yeah.
big thing that Nintendo got sued for. They made a rival fake company,
Oh.
and they ran it so they pitched out publicly they were rivals big time, but in behind the scenes it was all the same owners, and they got big
Whoa.
time sued.
Who was the
Shady
company?
companies are
Do you
shady.
Do you
I don't remember. It was, but look it up. It was either Nintendo or Sony, one of the two.
Fake company.
Yeah, they made a fake company as a rival company. It wasn't a real company, and gaming companies do this all the time.
Genki. Does that sound familiar?
That might be.
Genki?
Who is it? The rival to the main one, though.
Wait, in 2000, Nintendo registered a trademark for the fake company.
Well, there have been multiple.
Non-Nintendo? Yeah, they did this a couple times, it looks like.
Yeah, so they'll make
AI.
fake rival companies. They'll make fake rival companies with their own logo. They'll never assume a relationship or assume ties, but behind the scenes, the money. If you just follow the money, because the taxes and the laws that we do have limited disclosing don't hide it. Because then they would be breaking the law.
GTA series. What? Yeah. I will not buy meat from the store.
I think I think that it should have been made illegal for Elon to sell X to XAI.
Let's get
Seven
That should have
figures.
been made
What is
illegal. That should
seven
not have been.
figures? Wait. 7
'Cause
figures.
Chan-
Okay, so that's.
Yeah, because X is Twitter, right? XAI is the AI company that he
Yeah.
owns. The thing is, he owns both of them, so it wasn't a real sale. It was a made-up sale to inflate the value of XAI. So they could have made up whatever fucking value for Twitter and said, "Well, we'll pay you 10 billion." Great, we just inflated our value by 10 billion.
Little
It should be
canine,
entirely
your
legal.
ranch
It's
is
fa-
estimated
it's
at
fake.
over $1 million.
Yeah, but it's
Sorry.
false. It's false. It's like faking the market. You're playing your own market and faking the figures and faking the profitability. It should be a felony, but it's not.
Right. That seems super sketchy. What the hell? Sean,
Yeah,
how's
he
it
basically
going,
set the premise. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to introduce or get Sean in the.
Hey, folks. Yeah,
topics.
yeah, 100%. I love the topics. I love the room. Thank you for having me. 100%. I love you guys talking about. Yeah. So I've been down. 100%. Yeah, and thank you for enlightening me that on the Twitter thing, because I wasn't aware of that. As far as when Elon bought it, I was trying to correlate it to the farming industry. I brought up Bill Gates and everything, and 100%. And somebody brought up Monsanto and Tyson. Yes, it's pretty much it is. I think the host asked, well, what do people stand to gain from somebody else buying? I guess you lose mom and pops and you lose private organizations.
Yeah.
I don't think what we talk about boomers, we talk about Americans who have their own businesses. If corporations own everything, then your choice is limited. If you can only buy an iPhone or an Android, how do we know that somebody else couldn't give you something more beneficial? Understandably, but we trade those freedoms and choices for quote unquote security and blankets. And that's that's all about morals and logic and everything, however you want to dumb it down. But I'm not here to debate politics or anything. I love the conversation. I love the vibe and everything. And 100%, I don't disagree or agree with anybody. I love the conversation. So thank you guys.
Appreciate you. I didn't mean to. I think I muted myself, but then I muted the whole freaking thing.
I'll mute myself. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. Because I don't know if you guys are hearing the echo from other people.
Am I echoing? If I'm echoing it,
no, you're okay. You're okay.
I think it is Chon.
I don't know if it's coming from.
It's Chon.
Okay, I'm sorry. I will mute. I'm sorry.
No,
we may need to do a quick drop and bring back up, but it's Chon echoing that, or it's it might be Priestley.
I think it.
Wait, let's test it. Priestley, mute. Okay, it's not Priestley.
Okay.
Testing.
Chon, mute.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so let's see if we still hear the feedback. Okay, it is you, host.
Okay, damn it. Frick. Okay, so it's coming from my headphones too. If I turn this down. Okay, can you guys talk again?
Okay, test. That's better. Oh, no, I can still hear it.
Testing.
Is it bad?
I have a fan. I have a fan blowing. Maybe I don't know if my fan's picking up.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
How about this?
Let me turn my fan off.
Hello. It's not my microphone. It's people hearing it through my headphones.
Yeah.
Microphone. I think.
You're good now.
Yeah.
You're good now.
There's a lot more silent, but I can listen carefully. But yeah, I appreciate people for just being open and just talking about stuff in general. I think this is a really interesting topic that I haven't been understanding or haven't understood or heard before. So it's really interesting hearing you guys talk about this.
See if you can move your mic a little bit away from you and then raise up your volume and see, because your volume should come in no problem with your voice with how close it is. So if you lower the sensitivity and raise the volume.
I'm not getting an echo from the host, so that's why I'm thinking I'm echoing, because I'm not getting an echo from the host.
You come in pretty clear, like the loudest out of all four.
There's not an echo from what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I turned it down. Here's all the way up, and if anyone wants to talk again, and you'll probably hear it again. Did you want to hear an echo?
I'm on my Android phone that I got. No, here you go.
I could hear slightly, but I think we could push through.
Thank you, Kenna. Thank you, Kenna.
I'll turn it down a bit.
It's a lot better than it was.
Okay, cool. All right.
You'll get it figured out.
So,
I believe it.
So help me understand. So with Elon Musk buying Twitter, like he was able to like kind of put the price onto, like.
No, so Twitter had a value, and Elon Musk didn't have money. So because people don't understand when they say you're a billionaire, you don't actually have a billion sitting, right? You have it in an investment, so it's on paper. So he didn't want to sell his shares, so he put up his shares as a bet, and he said, "Okay, I'll offer you X amount of shares of my shares if you back me and give me the money I need to buy this." And if it fails, you'll get 100%. But if it doesn't, then, kind of like a bet, but a little bit of share buying. So then the bigger companies are like, okay, we'll buy Twitter for you. Twitter wasn't very profitable, so he jacked the price up on Grok. It started having a little bit, and then when the value wasn't hitting what he wanted, he sold it to his own company, XAI, because he killed unalive two birds with one stone, because he wanted XAI's value to go up, and he wanted Twitter's value to go up. So by selling it to his own other parent company, he was able to jack up the valuation of both of them.
That's messed up. That's legal?
Oh,
yes.
Hold on. Okay. Well, so Alec, the reason I brought that up in correlation to the farming discussion that we were having is that Twitter was Twitter, and whatever, and thank you for that enlightenment, 100%. But when Elon bought it, it was under the premise that, and he sold this idea to people that would pick it up, is that he was buying it to kind of create more openness on that platform, because at that time pretty much Twitter was right up there with Facebook. It was one of the main platforms that everyone used to promote themselves or get information from or whatever. So in Elon buying Twitter at that point, changing it to X, and I'm not saying that what you said was incorrect, but as opposed to how the farming market is going, that's being bought up by Monsanto or Tyson or Bill Gates or whomever is buying it, it's not the same. Yeah, Elon did that what you said, but Elon didn't buy it to make it less of a choice for Americans to have that platform. He kind of bought it to open it up to have less regulation for people to speak themselves and promote themselves
yeah,
and
you know what happened? You know
go
what
ahead. Yep.
within the first 24 hours of Elon Musk buying and owning officially Twitter, racial slurs spiked by 500%.
Ooh.
500%.
That's unfortunate. That's highly unfortunate. But
and it has still remained
okay.
incredibly high compared to prior. And the thing was, though, here's the honest thing: I don't think Twitter really ever truly silenced freedom of speech on their platform. Like, I saw a lot of crazy shit before Elon bought it. Like, there wasn't really a silencing. There were some, if you went blatantly racist, that Twitter would respond as they had to with their policies and go, "That's against our terms of service. So we're gonna shut this down." Right.
But,
so Elon loosened that, but that's not really a silencing of freedom of speech. That's more of, I'm not okay. I'm not really as bothered by the racism and open hatred. So go ahead, fire away.
Well, Alec, the whole reason it's not I don't know. I wasn't in those back rooms, but Elon said that, and a lot of people said conjecture that Twitter was being used to influence votes and it was being used in a political platform.
Every form of of social media will be used inadvertently or advertently as a way to influence somebody, as you have social media influencers across it with many 100%. Different views. That's
like the algorithm.
Yeah, so even after Elon bought it and those remarks skyrocketed, those racist remarks skyrocketed, at the same time that those remarks were skyrocketing, X was not being used as a platform that the media was willing to stand on, right? Like X became irrelevant once Elon bought it, and it wasn't used anymore.
It's not irrelevant. Let me tell you.
It is because you just proved it, because now it's correlated with racism and
I'm not
far right wing ideology.
Well, the thing is, while some people left, many people stayed. Many people were willing to support Twitter because they said, "I've been using Twitter my whole life. I don't feel comfortable changing, but damn you, Elon." And so a lot of people stayed. Like, users have gone up, not down. So
I know
it hasn't. But the thing is, here's my honest truth to you, right? If you can see the problems with Bill Gates and other billionaires, do not suddenly disassociate those problems away from another billionaire, Elon Musk. Right? If you actually look into the origins of Elon Musk, how did he get his wealth? Because he likes to paint his story as he was this broke college kid, and he made his way in the American dream.
Rags to riches. Right? Yeah, I know it wasn't rags to riches.
He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
Oh no, it's worse than that. 100%. It's worse than that. His father owned the majority of the mines in South Africa during apartheid, and used basically slave labor to get blood diamonds. And 100%. So it was so that is who Elon Musk was raised by. That is the views he does have and has shared very carefully, but he's constructed this very careful image of, I'm this front forward of future human technology and shit.
Alec, and you're 100% correct. I'm not refuting that, but at the same time, like, if we're going to get into that tangent, then, you bring up Zuckerberg, what he's done with Facebook, and if you want to go down that road and that rabbit hole, then we have to talk about Zuckerberg, the way he uses Facebook, how he transitioned to Meta. And I'm not doing that.
I hope he
gets arrested. And I'm on the same page as you. But as far as like the farming stance goes, at least within America, and then, like the little bubble that I live in, that I think I know what I'm talking about when I really don't, because I don't mingle in those circles. But the farming issue, and the reason I brought up Bill Gates and I was pointing out that billionaire, is that it is a problem, and it does translate from farming to social media to what vehicles we can purchase. I mean, a knock on Elon is that Tesla is not even a premier global brand of electric vehicles. Asia has really overdone him when it comes
China
to EVs.
Has absolutely
and Americans aren't allowed to even purchase those. Like we can't even look at those vehicles or purchase them. So it's like it's capitalism on a very radical scale, and it's not. It's very closed-minded and consumerism based, and it's unfortunate. So
I wanted to say something. Yeah, please go ahead.
Well, I have two things. Actually three, sorry. First thing is, as of recently, 81% of users on Twitter are bots. And the second thing I want to say, well, actually, I forgot the third thing, so I'll just say the second thing. I personally am offended because, as Brady knows, I have autism, and I used to have Twitter. I used to post on Twitter. I posted art, stories, stuff like that, and I quickly got off of it because it was just like an echo chamber of stuff. And then I moved to Blue Sky. No, I remember the third thing. Sorry. And then I will never willingly support a man who did a Roman salute and claimed it was because he has autism.
Wait, he claimed he had autism when he did what?
Yeah,
I don't remember
afterwards
if it
when he got a
was-
bunch of hatred for it, he said he has autism, so that's why he did it. Well, you don't see me doing that every 5 seconds.
Right.
And he put some gusto into it too.
I will say though, I think that there is some inflating going on when they report that there's so many bots on
Yeah,
X.
I don't
do
think
believe
it's
there's a
81. I think they're exaggerating a bit.
So and Priestley, and thank you for sharing that, and you didn't have to, and I can never begin to understand where you're coming from because I haven't been subjected to, or dealt with that. But at the same time, I'm not up here, trust me, I'm not an Elon defender or anything. But when I bring up Mark's, like Elon, for that specific reason, at the same time, you have to weigh in Starlink. And you have to talk to people that use Starlink, if you look at his rocket program, which I know was funded kind of in a corrupt way, but at the same time, like Mark Zuckerberg and Bezos are not trying. There are some people, I'm not included, that say Elon should receive a Nobel Peace Prize for what he's done in the rocket program as far as
The
space
stocks have
technology.
plummeted. It's hilarious.
Well, yeah, okay, well, hilarious you may say, but would you rather just have Elon do what Zuckerberg does and buy up all the property around him so that he does not have neighbors? Would you rather have him do what Bezos does and just take down bridges in foreign cities so he can have a wedding so he can sail his yacht through it? I mean, yes, Elon is a goober, and a nutcase, but it could be a lot worse. And for all the attention he draws on himself, which I don't think he should do, that's on him. But I mean, why aren't we also pointing the finger at Zuckerberg, Gates, Bezos, Oprah, Clinton's, Trump? Okay, yeah, 100%.
And I will say,
they all deserve to be thrown into the same thresher pot. 100%.
And I will say, this is my opinion. I don't think there's anything. I don't really think there's a lot. Wait, hold on. Let me try to word this correctly. My bad.
You're okay.
There's not a lot. Oh God, I had this in my head. It sounded better in my head. There's not much worse than being a Roman. The salute. That's what I mean.
Oh, dude.
I'm not saying the other word.
Right. That's okay.
Because TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do there. Like, what his idea of doing that salute.
He tries to act like he's popular. Nobody likes him.
I think the salute was taken out of
Not even the
context.
people that are on his team.
He really went for it, though, man.
But if you say he has a form of autism, if you say he has a form of autism, and I say, well, if he was trying
he
to
said that. I don't.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
Okay. But if he does have a form of autism and he was trying to salute and it came off as weird, then it can be taken out of context. I mean, I could also say, let's listen to what Biden said when he was in the Senate and what he said about African American people in a derogatory term.
I do not like Biden, but I don't like politicians.
Yeah, I never.
Period. But
I think
to counter to.
Go ahead.
I don't want to bury Elon while letting everyone else get away with.
Right. I mean, you say it might be out of context. You say he might have done a salute weird, but when you put your hand on your chest and then you put your arm straight out, that's not the kind of salute.
Why would he do that? Like, that would be a career destroying moment. Like that
you would think so, but he's a man in power, and you see how their consequences never happen. Well, I say never, but
he's saying my heart goes out to you all. Like that's what his intention was. Like
who knows? I mean, who knows?
I think that might have been the case. If I was gonna do my heart goes out to you all, it'd be like this. To you all.
I would put my palm facing out. I wouldn't like put my whole hand out, like fingers facing out. I would put my palm out, and yeah.
Well,
like,
I mean,
like when people kiss their hand and they wave, kind of like that.
We don't know what we would do because when you're up on that, like he doesn't seem like he's very coachable when it comes to being in the media spotlight. Like I'm sure he has handlers, I'm sure he has a PR team, but it's like that could have been a spur of the moment thing that he thought. I mean, like I've seen Zuckerberg in interviews and the way people. For the longest time, people thought he was a robot because the way he just sits there, stone cold faced, and it's like they really think he's a robot. Like he has no emotion. And
I don't think he's a robot personally. I just think he's apathetic.
Well, because you're looking. Okay, so you're being like half glass full with him and half glass empty with Elon, and it's like, you know what I'm saying?
How am I being wait, what does that mean? Like, in this context, what does that mean? I know usually what that means, but what do you mean when you say that?
Well, because obviously I don't think Zuckerberg's a robot, but his actions are contrived in a way that, like you can't just say Elon was that bodily function he did with his hands and his arm is not. I don't really think like it. He's not going to do it at that place. He's not going to do it on camera. If Elon's going to do stuff like that, it's going to be behind the scenes and with money and without you knowing about it. He's not going to.
You would think that, but with who? I'm not going to say. I'm not going to go into detail.
Okay.
But with how it's going, you would think they would hide that stuff, but they have been very bold in showing it on camera, and people do not say a word.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not, and like I said, I'm not here to defend him or anything. We were talking about farming, and 100%.
You guys are good. I think when it comes to the problem with billionaires or trillionaires, or let's get Alec back up. When it comes to all this stuff going on, what do you guys think the solution would be to make it be what we think it could be?
Tax the rich.
Nope. I think it would be boycotting.
That too, but it's hard to do that when you don't have a lot of money.
Exactly.
I try. Trust me, I try.
Well, we've seen truckers go on strike. Like boycotting only works until, like we saw the whole thing with the dock workers in Baltimore. We've seen the truckers with Canada. And they might make it out 3 weeks. But then it's like, oh, they can't feed their family, so they have to give in. But boycotting is strictly the strongest opposition that the people have, because if you stop consuming Twitter and X and iPhones and Androids and PlayStations and TikTok, you will hurt them. You will destroy them. But you will also at your same time destroy yourself, and you have to be okay with that. But we're not, because we want our Starbucks, we want our social media, we want our comfy conditions, and we're not willing to go without yet. So because we haven't gotten to the point where we've had enough. We're still like, okay, like, I mean, I remember when they were getting rid of TikTok and everybody was freaking out, and they went to what was it called, Red Note?
Red Note, yeah.
I didn't sign up for Red Note, but a lot of people were freaking out and going to Red Note, and then
it's owned by the same company though.
Yeah, so it was like that was a huge, everybody was freaking out, and it was like, we can't go on without this, and we're gonna go Red Note, and hey, meet me there, and it was like, we should have been willing to be like, okay, F it.
Well, I think we're starting to see a little bit of a change, and some people are seeing it as nothing big, but I think we're starting to see growth here. Where if you look at New York with Mamdani.
I
Not only
love
did
him.
he win and prove that you don't have to cut social benefits and balance the budget.
And you don't
On
need big
top of that,
companies backing you up to win.
right? But not only that, but on top of that, the candidates that he all backed just won their primaries, every single
Yeah.
one of them. So we're seeing, and the Democrat Party is kind of freaking out a little bit because they're not really that left. They're left, but not that left.
Right.
And we're starting to
Yes.
see a new socialist movement. And because basically what's happening is, I think the everyday Democrat, especially who's more left leaning, is going, okay, if the right is going extreme, we're going to go extreme left. And we're going to go full socialist. We're going to push and change and revolutionize, but we'll start small. So I think we're seeing that change, and we're seeing that growing. So if that continues, that pattern, I could see the new Democratic base being one of a much more socialist base than what it has been.
I have two things. One, I will absolutely not vote for Gavin Newsom. He is not a Democrat. He pretends to be. That's my opinion. You can disagree. And the second thing is, Mamdani actually went through with his promises. They weren't empty promises. He said he was going to do something, and then he did.
He also overshot his budget, and I live in New York. I don't live in New York City. But if you're gonna say that about Mamdani and what he's doing, you also have to look at what happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with Tim Walz and those Democrats, and tell me how that will be any different from what Mamdani is proposing, because it's on the same trajectory as Tim Walz, and Tim Walz is coming under heavy fire. He's sidestepping a lot of it. But
Yes.
I don't want to see New York City fall into the same culpable, atrocities that happened in Minnesota.
Well, I mean, New York hasn't really overshot the budget. And the reason why, they were kind of worried that would happen. The media was kind of worried that was going to happen. But partially because he is taxing the rich, it is helping not to overshoot that budget. It's a very little amount, but it does a lot.
I think we keep watching, and we're going to be very impressed with what has happened, and we've already seen very positive results.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of fear-mongering that both sides do with each other regarding how other things will be done or what will be allowed or not allowed. But from what I'm seeing, New York has done very well under his leadership so far. It is early days, but it has shown very positive and tremendous signs. We've seen improvements across the board. So if those patterns persist, and the thing is, Tim Walz, sure, he's not bad, but he's not really that great either. And he's not at the level that Mamdani is. He's still more of that old school. And yeah, he's kind of a klutz. He's kind of a klutz. He's not a bad governor, but he's not a great one. He's okay.
Well, so Priestley's saying that they're not happy with Newsom. I mean, where would you lump Newsom in with Mamdani and Walz? Like, would you put him in the middle?
He's a piece of shit. I think Newsom's
he's worse than all. He's worse than both of them.
Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Why though?
Why?
He throws
Because
minorities under the bus to get to himself to win and get people to like him.
Not even that. When the Supreme Court made it constitutional to fine homeless people for sleeping in public places because they're fucking homeless, and the homeless projects that exist across this country are atrocious with not enough room and space at all, or budget, and he was one of the first governors to fucking enforce it, all for his wealthy Silicon fucks. So I was like, well, fuck you, Newsom. And so I don't like Newsom. He's not a good... If you're gonna be someone who claims to care about people, you should show the act of fucking caring.
One last thing before I have to go. Also, there was a child liker, to put it nicely, who was put on death row, and Gavin Newsom pardoned him.
No, that was Tim Walz. I saw that. That was Tim Walz.
No, this is an earlier thing. This happened.
Okay, well, Tim Walz just did it as well, so.
Gross.
But no, but also San Francisco, and I was not for it. San Francisco passed as a city, and Newsom was totally for it, where they allocated 12 million a year. I think it was 5 or 12 million. You can look it up post. They allocated that much specifically so homeless people would be able to go to bars and get a free drink.
What?
And I was like, why don't we invest that for a housing supplement and
Alec.
house them versus giving them alcohol?
Alec.
Like I don't.
I gotta
Wait,
go,
hold on,
guys.
Alec.
Huh.
Didn't Harris derive from San Francisco?
Well, it wasn't a Harris policy. This
Well,
was
okay.
that. And Harris has never presented the idea of doing this.
No,
Never.
no, I know,
$5 million. $5 million.
$5 million project. Yeah, $5 million a year
I
specifically.
gotta go,
so homeless
everybody.
people
but
can have
Harris
access to bars.
springboarding into the VP situation coming from San Francisco, she left a lot of resounding, effects that
San
had it
Francisco has always done fuck shit because it's a Silicon area and they want to keep the population poor.
So why were Americans supposed to?
Because just because you come
resound?
from a city doesn't mean that you're going to do the same thing. Like, actually, Kamala Harris
okay.
was not very fond of the tech company and actually valued stringent regulation and more oversight. She was very much on her policy of more oversight of these companies.
Okay.
How much that entails to practice, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, both parties are of the same wing of the same bird.
Agreed.
They're just
Agreed.
opposite
Y'all.
wings of the same bird. So their interest is to keep afloat. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. I just have to go to bed now.
I do too. I appreciate you all. I'm leaving as well. I love you guys.
Oh,
I
bye.
appreciate it. This was a very informative. Thank you guys.
Drink plenty of water. Bye-bye.
All right, take care, guys. Yep. Bye-bye.
Damn, everyone leaving.
I know. Sorry, I was like half paying attention to that last part that you were talking about. It was with Gavin. No, it was like since Sarah Palin. What the frick, Brady? Since Kamala didn't, since she came from San Francisco, something correlated with something. Was that where he was going on about? What was going on?
He was saying Harris was from the San Francisco area, so her policies would have matched that of the San Francisco behavior.
I don't think that's. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I actually do. I don't think that really correlates, right? Like, just because someone comes from a city doesn't mean they're gonna take away like every single thing that the city does, right? Does it make sense? Hello. I cannot hear either one of you if you're talking for some reason. Hello?
Sorry, I got distracted. Repeat yourself.
I just, no, you're good. I just don't think if someone comes from a city, like, they're gonna keep the same kind of like laws or whatever they do with them, right?
Right. No, exactly. And so, I voted third party because I wasn't very fond of either, because we have one who, in my opinion, not opinion, it's court documented, but one is a rapist,
Right.
and the other one is a P3 defender when Harris helped block basically people being able to prosecute the Catholic priests who were doing stuff in the area.
Oh, I
So,
never heard this.
she blocked those prosecutions and protected them.
Kamala was doing this?
Yeah, when she was the prosecutor.
She blocked people in church, like the priests, from being.
No, she blocked. Yeah. She stopped the victims from suing the priests and going to court.
What? That's wild.
Yeah.
I'm hearing this. I'm gonna look it up because it's probably, obviously, from hearing you, I don't think you have false information, but I just want to look it up.
No, it really did happen. There were cases where she kind of prevented it. And it was a dark stain on her campaign.
Let's hear it. While serving as DA, her office faced scrutiny for withholding internal Catholic Church personnel files from civil attorneys and for perceived lack of aggressive pursuit against the church. I don't know. I'll look
Yeah.
into this later.
That's a nice way of saying that she protected and prevented the prosecution of those judges or
Yeah,
those priests.
the
That's the
AI
nice way of putting it.
the AI overview says Kamala Harris did not block priests from being prosecuted, but her record as San Francisco district attorney drew criticism for victim advocates. But I'm gonna look into this. I'll keep this up to actually find a actual
She was the
news
head of
source.
the office, and the office was accused of not being as fighting and actually stopping it at times and refusing to hand over the evidence
Yeah,
as is stated there. And she ran that. Like, okay, ooh, you're not going to associate with. She was running that. She knew that was going on. She
yeah.
didn't care.
How do you usually keep up with politics? Like, where do you go to get your news?
Everywhere.
Yeah,
I read all sorts of different main news and then kind of read personal opinion pieces and then just kind of, because I always say that, yes, news lies, but they always have portions of the truth. So if you combine multiple perspectives, you can kind of figure out the truth line between them.
right, right.
And you can see where this is more. A lot of people will use something like grounded news, but that's a paid subscription. And what it does is it breaks down an event and it shows you all the different news sources, how they lean and stuff like that. So you know if yours is more left leaning, right leaning, or more centrist, and how they write. I basically do that without paying for grounded.
Right.
I just do the work myself by reading the articles, and I'm smart enough to pick up if this is left leaning or right leaning.
Definitely. I think Alex O'Connor, he's a YouTuber. He promotes a similar app, if it's not the same one. But I think that's interesting to have like an app that like kind of does it for you. But I think it's better to like come to understand yourself, like you said, like how you do it. Just by like, I think it helps just like think about things differently. I don't personally do a good job at researching politics. Or even current events in the first place. I usually, if I hear anything, it's on here or maybe like with other people I talk to. I don't actively research it like I did during the election year last year. I was more into trying to figure out what was going on. I listened to TikTok debates, and that was really informative just to hear different points of view. But I haven't. I just have not been keeping up with stuff this whole year, and it's probably bad since like if people talk about it, I can't really be informed on it. I can only ask questions and be more curious, right? So when I hear stuff like Kamala like blocked people from being prosecuted, it's like whoa. It's like what goes on with people that like that you don't hear all the time, and people can, I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point, but it's interesting hearing about these different topics from people.
Well, I think, the best statement I go is a dangerous citizen is an informed one. Right? Because we're all about, get your education, be smart, right? But that education system with the university and all that has been kind of hijacked by corporations and their personal interest and politicize. One be more left leaning, one be more right leaning, and sorry, I'm doing laundry at the same time. So the reality is that the best way is do your own research, your own reading, learning, taking notes. Self-education is key, and don't fall into a trap of one perspective or the other. Obviously, unless it's a horrible perspective like pro-slavery, like fuck that. But
Right. Like if I get news, it's gonna be from Reddit because I doom scroll Reddit sometimes. But like even then, like if it's like a wild thing, I don't even put like that much faith into what I read sometimes. Like if I don't actually research into it, like I'll just like note it as like an observation. Like okay, this is interesting, but I won't spill it out. Like when it comes to politics or even anything in general, I want to speak the truth out because I don't want to misinform people. So when it comes to politics, I just be quiet unless like I know what I'm talking about. And that's just kind of how I operate right now.
well, that's fair. If you're doing it more as I'm learning, so I'm taking the seat back. But what I will say is definitely don't stop and don't just rely on TikTok.
Right.
Watch things, read books, go to people who have worked in the profession and listen to them talk about it. And some of them, be more brutally honest or not so honest. And the more you watch and learn and observe and kind of take note, the more you're aware of things and better understanding of things. And
Definitely.
you can kind of come to a position of, okay, I know this. And I think one of the humbling things is realizing that as you keep going, you'll never know everything.
Right. I think that's an amazing, like that's like with anything, right? I think that's an amazing thing to realize. As like the more you learn, the more like you don't know. It's like that's an okay thing. Um, I don't know if I told you about. I don't know if I talked with you about this, but I think we ought to normalize saying I don't know. Like I think everyone just wants to be right, which I understand. But I think if we like normalizing I don't know when we really don't, I think it's okay to say it. And I think some people just don't want to admit that they don't know sometimes, and they're like stick both feet in the ground and die on a hill over a stupid thing. And that's I said that really not in the best way, but I have examples with people I've talked with when they held beliefs that weren't in the best interest for everyone.
Right. Now there's a balance to it too, right? It's like don't be looking and taking wasted time if gravity is real or not. No, that's dumb. Gravity's real. Let's agree to the basic facts because then we'll just go in circles with it. But there are things to research, right? And it's not even conspiracy based. It's just follow the money, right? Like what I was explaining with the billionaires. Just follow their money, follow their tracks of what they do, and it comes more into a realization of what's going on. You don't need some Illuminati conspiracy crap. You just need to follow their income, their finances, follow who they're investing in. Like when Trump had his first administration, a lot of MAGA back then, right, was very conspiracy based, much more than now, right? The first time, especially early years of
Mm-hmm.
Trump, right? They were super like QAnon and all of that, right? Like, but when you looked at his administration figures and who worked for him, they all worked for the same people they said were dangerous, like the Rothschilds and um, BlackRock. And it was like, well, Trump's largest stock investment is in BlackRock. So do you want to explain that, MAGA? What's going on here?
Ooh.
So I posted all of this.
Yeah.
And I got blocked in several countries. People, when you pull up my page, it's just a blank page.
Oh, just for just
I got blocked
saying
in China. I got blocked in Russia for showing in great detail, not just, some conspiracy like, oh, I'm accusing you. No, like, oh, look at these documents. Look at these financial sheets. Like, this isn't made up. This is researched, me researching with my own eyes and highlighting it. And yeah, a lot of MAGA, when I used to do my MAGA lives, I would show them all this on the live and
yeah.
they would start having existential crisis
Oh
moments. They'd be
no.
like, I don't know what to do because I love Trump and you just blew my mind and you showed me an irrefutable evidence because this isn't news. This is literal finances, official documents of tax returns, everything. And they're like, you're showing things I didn't know. And I'm like, and they're like, I'm having existential crisis about Trump. And it's like, yeah, once you break that peel that he's not a god, he's just like every other billionaire. The realization is, oh shit, we're being fucked.
Right, right. So help me understand. So like he has stocks in the
BlackRock.
BlackRock, and BlackRock is what? What do they do?
So you don't know about BlackRock?
I don't.
Oh my. So there's three major companies: Vanguard, BlackRock, and I forgot Corsair, I think is the third. I forgot the name. It's something Sale or something. I don't remember the third one, but there's three.
Okay.
BlackRock is owned by Larry Fink. He started it, and it's basically a conglomerate, massive investment company. But what their key thing is, they built the algorithm that scores a stock's profile. So if it has a poor rating, people don't buy into it, hurts the company. But if they have a positive rating, they then buy into it. Well, the problem is that they claim that the AI is neutral and not leaning towards BlackRock's desires, but everyone's going bullshit. BlackRock is deciding what companies should push for, what things should be supported, what things shouldn't. And if they don't follow that, then that AI system gives them a lower score, so people pull out and hurt that company on the stock market. And they have more in valuation in like their total holdings in stocks than the US GDP. They have like $40 trillion in assets.
Holy shit. 40 trillion?
Yeah.
I can't comprehend that. They have 40 trillion in assets.
In assets in the stock market that they've invested. So when you look at like who owns Netflix, who owns this, you'll see 13% BlackRock, 12% BlackRock, 5% BlackRock. They have a little bit of ownership in everything, in McDonald's and all of that. And so does Vanguard. But yeah, and you can look up BlackRock, who is Larry Fink, who are their investments, and look up BlackRock And Trump and his stock and his largest stock holdings is in BlackRock. And BlackRock more than like doubled their profits under Trump in the first administration. That doesn't sound like a very anti BlackRock, anti swamp move, does it?
No. So, like, basically, Trump is funding or helping, like, fund BlackRock in a way.
Oh, it gets crazier. Obama did this too. It wasn't just under Trump. Obama did this too, and it was fucking despicable, and they still have done it. When the COVID crisis happened, I think, I think it was Trump that started it. Biden continued it. He allowed BlackRock to print and buy debt and print money. We sold our economy to BlackRock, portions of it, and they've been buying more and more.
Okay. How does that work? How do they buy our economy?
Because we sell it to them. They sell it to them and they say, okay, BlackRock is going to help the economy breathe a little bit. So they're going to invest X amount and take X amount. It's all on paper, but it increases BlackRock's control of the literal economy. And every time there's a crisis, they look up U.S. Treasury deal with BlackRock COVID. And they also did it under Obama with the 08 crisis, where they basically gave BlackRock power. They made them the Fed. Basically, it's not exactly, but basically, if you just sum up to their behaviors and what they allowed, they basically became the Fed during those times.
They basically became the Fed during those times. So with the president's funding BlackRock, BlackRock is like influencing.
And when I say Fed, I mean the Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve. Okay.
Yeah, when I say the Fed, the Federal Reserve.
So like, I'm assuming BlackRock influences like who can be like elected and stuff, or like, or I guess.
I mean, maybe, but it's more of they own the corporations and what is allowed and not allowed.
Okay.
Because by owning ownership and by owning the algorithm in which a lot of stocks are valued at, because a lot of companies use BlackRock's system, they have so much leverage in what a company can and can't do, what they'll promote, what they won't promote.
Right. Can you? Sorry, I when it comes to economics, when it comes to politics, I am just pretty dumb when it comes to it.
Type in BlackRock AI tool, and that'll tell you what it is. And when you read it, it sounds all neutral, and you go, "Holy shit! What the fuck? How is this allowed?"
BlackRock AI Labs, probably not their own. BlackRock offers several proprietary artificial intelligence and generative AI tools, with the most notable being Aladdin Copilot and the
Aladdin. Yep.
commentary feature within the Aladdin Wealth platform. These tools are built to automate complex research, analyze data, and generate personalized financial insights and portfolios for advisors and institutional clients. So, can you break it down again when it comes to this AI that's kind of overarching, like we're seeing or collecting data from the stock market. It can like, so when it tells you like it's bad, you don't put in stocks on the bad one, right? And less people that are using when people that are using this AI tool, less people put into that stock.
So to simplify it, it's way more complex. So there's a lot of numbers involved, but in a simple way, a stock rating of a company, say Microsoft, will have an A++. So investors see that with that BlackRock tool and they go, okay, this is worth investing because it has a high score, so it's profitable and it's valuable, right? If they don't like what the company's doing, for example, Netflix, they kind of broke away from what the Obama era was, and they're like, we're going to platform whatever we want to platform, and we're going to break away from some of this, media ties and kind of go on our own. They suddenly got a negative score, and they lost tons of losers. A lot of investors pulled out, and their company almost went bankrupt.
So it influences...
But because BlackRock gave them a negative score. Well, they claim BlackRock's official statement is that the Aladdin system is neutral to BlackRock, and BlackRock has no control over what the AI determines on score. But a lot of people are going, that's fucking bullshit.
So like the score determines if people will have a desire to invest into a stock or not.
Correct. The score they get, the investors will see and determine if it's worth investing in or not. And if it's not worth investing, right?
Interesting.
And a lot of companies, it's one of the core systems, and there's trillions of dollars through that system of how that works.
Holy shit. So if I'm understanding
Yeah,
correctly,
look
so
up BlackRock total value. Here, let me look it up.
yeah. You're out of the app, by the way. So when you're out of the app, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I know. I was researching. So
Yeah, just want to let you know.
16 trillion dollars in U.S. stock-based assets.
Holy
They own
shit.
16 trillion dollars worth,
So obviously, if the AI is smart enough to like,
and they make a revenue of 116 billion a year.
holy, so like, so this AI could like be like, okay, so if we put the points for this company or this business down this way or up this way, we can basically influence or manipulate the market to where
We can
we
tell
gain
the
more
company
money.
what the fuck we want, what vision we want, what we want you to encourage, what we want you to say. And if you don't say what BlackRock wants and what its envisioned and its goal for you is, we will hurt your score. And not only that, if they like certain companies that are money makers, say McDonald's, look up right now how much BlackRock owns a McDonald's stock. Right, and you'll see, and it'll seem small, but if you read the total amount of shares, it's ridiculous because they get price per share, and that's just so McDonald's, what they'll do is if they like a company, they'll invest in that company. And that's why they have $16 trillion worth. And so when that company does well, they benefit too. And of course, the companies they own all perform well.
Right. So it looks like BlackRock owns approximately 55.35 million shares of McDonald's Corporation, which translates to 7.79% ownership stake, which is a shit ton, isn't it? Like 8%
Yeah, and that's what
is
they
pretty
do. They
cool.
don't 7%, right? They don't look to be a majority shareholder, right? They're not going to buy 80% of a company. They're not going to buy 80% or 50%. They're going to buy 13%, 20%, 7%, 9%, just small enough to be injected into the company, have a say, and force them what they want and to profit off of those dividends on the companies they invest in that pay out dividends quarterly.
So if I was an evil man and say I was the owner of BlackRock, and I put the I bought 8% shares of McDonald's, and say McDonald's, if you don't do what I want you to, I'm gonna pull my shares out and then drop your score on my artificial intelligence thing that millions of people I don't know are using. Is that something that happens?
Yeah.
You think?
But also, yeah, of course they don't talk about it, but yeah, but also he doesn't even have to pull his shares. He'll say, "I'll take the hit. I can take the hit. I have $16 trillion in shares across the board. My company can take a hit, hurt our shares in your company, still own those shares, and in fact, we'll buy more shares.
Mm-hmm.
We'll creep up on more and buy more at a cheaper rate." And so, yeah, it's a tactic. It's a very hostile. Like there's three of them, right? Vanguard, BlackRock, and I forgot the other one. And they're not as big, but they are still big. And but Vanguard and BlackRock are the big two, and they are competing to basically own a little bit of everything, and there's no stopping of that. There's no regulation of that. If you had the money, you could do that too. If you had the money, right, you could buy a little bit of every company, make billions, hundreds of billions, develop an AI system that scores the companies you are invested in, give the positive score, say, oh, it's neutral based because the AI is neutral, we have no influence, and we just profit and succeed with the company. Yeah, bullshit, Larry Fig. Bull fucking shit.
So Larry Fig or Larry, let's see, Larry Think, Fink,
Larry.
Fink.
Larry Fink. Yeah, Fink
So
is the CEO of BlackRock and basically the founder of BlackRock.
and these other two companies like Vanguard and whatever else, or do they have their own AI systems too, where they're doing similar things?
I that's BlackRock.
Just
BlackRock has the
only
majority
BlackRock.
control.
Okay,
Well, other companies do, but BlackRock has the majority system that most companies and the biggest companies use BlackRock system.
so when we're gonna tie this, like, go back to Mr. Donald Trump, Mr. God. Anyways, um, when he has invested in BlackRock, and you're talking to MAGA conservatives or Republicans on your channel, what's bad about that? That I mean, like obviously it's
Well,
bad to
they
invest
they
in.
know they know Larry Fink well, one man having that much power is a nightmare, and Larry Fink has that power. So there's always going to be conspiracy about that, right? That
Right.
you're world dominating because of your behavior. And I mean, it's not necessary. I mean, I don't think he's like the king of the world, but it's definitely a lot of influence and power that should not exist with one person. So they're very anti BlackRock. They see it as a cancerous thing that's ruining companies and trying to take over and tell them what to do. Very dystopian, right? And so when I tell them, well, then why is Trump's largest stock investment of all his stocks he owns, his largest is in BlackRock?
Oh, his
Why is
largest. I
that?
didn't catch that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
His largest portion of
Ooh.
stock is in BlackRock. And I'm like, why? And they freak out. They go, wait, what? And I'm like, look it up. And they look it up. And it's like, yeah, his largest investment is in BlackRock. And they go, oh, shit. And then I'm like, well, look at these photos. Here's Larry Fink and Trump next to each other shaking hands. Here's an article explaining how BlackRock made X amount of money under Trump's administration because of the policies he's did. And then when the crisis hit with COVID and they needed an economic management system, BlackRock stepped in and Trump was like, yeah, sure, here you go.
Who? So when it comes to like Trump saying he's going to impose tariffs on these countries, is that market manipulation in a sense where like he's making more money for like BlackRock, or
No,
am I
that's just
twisting that?
Trump being stupid. That's just Trump being stupid because Trump
So
doesn't understand how tariffs work.
so right, because tariffs are a tax on like the consumer, right? It's my understanding.
Well, ends up becoming a tax on the consumer because what it is, it's a tax on the importer. So whoever's bringing in a product, say McDonald's imports X amount of milk imported, right? Well,
Right.
because they're importing from a foreign country, the foreign country has that fee. And so because of that, it's on purpose, right? This isn't accidental. It's purposely designed this way. They're hoping that the company in response that's importing and paying the tax will then raise the product. So say right, for example, China sells a toothbrush for $1 and the US sells it for 3. Well, they're hoping with that tariff the company will raise the price, so now they're selling the toothbrush for $2, $3, or even $4. So the American product hasn't changed in price, but the foreign product has.
Oh, because
So
like
it's forcing you to
okay.
buy American. It's forcing you to buy American. It's attempting to
Uh
because they say we're going to raise the cost of goods of foreign goods, so you'll be invested in buying American goods, but we're not going to lower the price of the American goods. We're going to force the price to match or be more expensive. And people still pick the foreign goods, so they end up spending more because usually the foreign goods will still be lower than the American, right? Say American bread $6, the foreign one was 2, now it's 5, still
mhm.
lower, so people are going to pay it, but now they're paying $3 more for the same product than they were before when they were saving $3. So you're just hurting them. It's a lose lose because
Right.
even if the foreign product's still cheaper, you're still paying more, and if it's more expensive and you're buying the American, you're still paying the extra that you weren't paying originally. So you're losing regardless.
And like to my understanding too, like I think when it came to like car companies, like we import different parts from different countries, so like it made it more expensive to like build cars, right? Like didn't that happen with Ford or something like that?
Well, the
Where
thing, yeah, we've done it multiple times and it never works. It always hurts everybody. And in the 1900s, the early 1900s, he talked about it. William McKinley or one of those presidents, he basically started importing, doing the tariff. And it started a fucking tariff war. So what happened was, say Italy. Italy was like, oh, you're implementing a 150% tariff. We're going to implement a 200% tariff. Fuck you. And then US would go, oh, you're doing that? No, fuck you. I'm going to raise it. Then England got involved and they're like, you're doing that. And everyone was jumping the price of tariffing on each other. And it hurt the economy. And they're like, okay, we got to stop this. And that's where the free market started taking over because it's like it's better to work in a free market where everyone wins versus tariffing the shit out of each other. Nobody wins because the country's just going to throw a tariff on you, and the biggest loser is the consumer
is the
because
consumer, right?
everyone's paying a higher price at the end of the day.
That makes
Everyone.
sense. That makes sense. How you state it that way. It's just like well, so what made anyone think this was gonna be a good idea in the first place?
I Trump's an idiot. I don't know.
But
He's
we
an
but we've
idiot.
but we've done tariffs before Trump though, right?
Yeah, but we got rid of them. We removed them. We had
Free
NAFTA. We had
because they're
North
failing.
America Free Trade Association. Yeah,
Okay.
we went for globalization. We said, okay, free open market, invest in other countries, but everyone benefits when the markets are free, and everyone can work together that way.
Okay.
Trump said, nah, I don't like that U.S. industry is hurting because my money's in that. So I'm going to raise tariffs so we can try to help with the American industries because, to be honest, Europe and China and India are kicking our fucking ass
Kicking our ass in what?
economically.
And economics? Like they're
And economically, the Chinese are fucking dominating the world. India is booming and surpassing, and soon India on this trend will surpass the US and China. Like, we're seeing two Asian countries booming in the world, and the US is struggling because when you have a system that's based on solely self-profitization and you get the billionaires, it hyperinflates the economy, fucks everything up. China doesn't really have that. Yes, they have some billionaires, but they're all invested in one party system, which the goal is to help the people, and their economy is booming, and they've always been cheap. They've always had cheap labor, cheap source. um, but their cost of living, and when we look at China's during the struggle days, we still think China's like that. During the struggle days where people didn't make good money and people were poor as shit, and they were like, oh yeah, China's communist, but everyone lives in these shitty apartments and they suck. Well, China's improved a shit ton since then. In 2026, China has drastically improved. The average household income has gone up by tens of thousands. It's
oh wow.
ridiculous. China's doing well. Oh yeah, China is very wealthy. China's growing, and they don't plan on stopping.
But they're communists. Not a bad word, right?
Well, they're not even really truly communist because they're basically communist with capitalist pants. Their
Okay.
money and pocket flows are through capitalistic practices, but their government and social systems are communist. But their
Wait,
economics are very capitalist international.
help me understand that. So when it comes to like they're very capitalist, so like you work for your own money, right? And you do your own thing. You start your business, you do your thing. But when it comes to communist like social structures, or is that how you phrased it? Or social?
Well, what China did was China went, okay, U.S. I know we don't get along. Under Nixon, it started right. I know we don't get along, but let's start doing some business together. Because we're poor, our things are way cheaper than yours. So we're going to inflate your market with our cheap industry and our cheap processing. A bunch of American companies are going to come to China because it's way cheaper to produce the good there than it is in the US. And it's way cheaper even with the fees of transporting it back. So it makes sense to do that. And so everyone flocked to China. China has been booming. America has never been able to compete on a price value of production compared to China, especially when the US only has 300 million and China has over a billion
Oh wow. Whoa.
people, you know?
Right.
China has over a billion, and India now surpassed China, has like 1.12 or something like that, slightly more. So you
Okay.
have two countries that have over a billion people. Yeah, their industry, when they finally got their shit together, their industry has been booming and has been growing at faster rates than the US, which has been long established and hasn't changed. It's the same billionaires, it's the same industry for the last 5 decades.
So when it comes to the United States, since we don't really have those systems in place for to help. Well, how am I going to phrase this, Brady? I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to politics and economics sometimes. But when
It's okay.
I'm trying to phrase a question here. So since we have billionaires and that money's going to the billionaires and not to the whole like population, and it's not being used, like that makes it hard to boost the economy. Am I saying this in ways that make any sense at all?
It well, the economy is then run by a select few people versus a true free market system where you have so many different people running businesses. Not really. Now it's a few people. Yeah, that's a big
Right.
problem because
And yeah.
that's a monopoly.
And with America, like with let's Larry Fink, right, and BlackRock, and we get all these different places or like buying different companies, and it's like merged into like one company. Like China's or India's not doing that either. They're doing something different.
Well, no, they're not gonna. So they're not gonna merge the companies, right? So BlackRock's investments in other companies, whether it be an airline company, a tech company, an auto company, a food company, whatever it is, they're not going to merge them. They're going to let them be their companies, but they're going to be the strings to pull what happens in the background.
I see.
Because
Yes.
now, if I'm one person that owns 16 trillion dollars worth of an economy, I have a lot of. That's pretty much half of the U.S. GDP. I own half of the U.S. fucking GDP in my pocket of these industries. I have a mega fucking pool on what will be done, what won't be done, what I will allow, what I won't allow.
Right.
That's a lot of influence.
Right. And China and India doesn't. They don't have like this kind of company like BlackRock or like an
Oh,
overarching
China's
big.
global. BlackRock is global. BlackRock is global. They're
Oh,
not
so it's all
strictly
over.
U.S. They're all over the world.
Oh, I see. Okay. But like China's not
Yeah,
implementing like they don't have that negative effect that like BlackRock
China
will
won't allow
in India.
something like that. The Chinese BlackRock is their government. Their government owns everything and determines what a company can and can't do. And if China doesn't like what you're doing, they shut down your fucking company.
Interesting. Okay.
That's
Huh.
the Chinese policy. They're super strict on it. That's why you see company products that interact with the US. A great example is DeepSeek, right? That's their AI, and it's free, and it competes in a very positive way against Gemini, Grok, all those other AI systems because A, it's completely free. B, you get the same amount of quote unquote tokens as you do for a paid subscription with Grok and Gemini. So, and you're paying, $20 a month for Gemini, and it's free on DeepSeek entirely, no limitations. So,
Huh.
but here's the catch: they're a Chinese company. So, if you go to DeepSeek and ask about Taiwan's independence, it'll say, "Sorry, I can't answer this." Or if you ask about the Tiananmen Square incident with the massacre that the communist Chinese government did with the student protesters back in the 1980s, it literally will say, "Sorry, I can't answer that." And it will refuse. And it'll start, even if you get somehow to get your AI to be more free to open to discuss things, as it's writing, it'll immediately stop and get deleted and give the response, "I can't reply to this."
Oh no. Well, that's a problem. Hmm.
That's how China controls their thing. If you break that, you are committing treason against China. Your company no longer exists. So they're going to listen and say, okay, there are things we're allowed to say and things we're not allowed to say. China has very strict. The U.S. is more subtle about it, but China is very blatant.
So it's
China is
not
very blatant.
so it's not ideal to be in China probably because like I
I don't
mean
think it's a big. I mean, sure, there's information that's being withheld, and there are terrible things China does, but so does the U.S. The
right.
U.S. does terrible things. They subdue information all the time. They just do it quietly versus China being open about it.
How
And
do
I
they
don't. I have more.
go ahead?
I respect China, who's more open about it, and it's like if you're going to go against what we want, you're going to be in trouble. Whereas the U.S. is like you have freedom of speech, but to an extent.
Okay,
Go too
that's
deep
very
into things, and suddenly you're not alive anymore,
who yeah.
right? But that's not like discussions like this. That's like people who have continued to do researching and publicate, going public about it and going massive on news networks and stuff. A lot of cases were mysterious unalivements regarding people exposing information about the government, right? I mean, and then if you're not unalive, look at Snowden. Snowden
Right.
revealed what was legal but terrible, right? But that was his mistake. It wasn't an illegal thing. It was fully legal, set up because of 9/11 what could be done.
What
So
was
when
that
he
act?
exposed, hey,
Go yeah,
hmm?
go ahead. So sorry, I didn't
No,
mean to
what was
interrupt.
it?
No, when he exposed what?
So he exposed, right? He exposed that the NSA was tapping into people's phones, listening to your conversations
Right.
without you knowing, and that it was a huge thing that they were tracking people who didn't even know they were being tracked.
Right. And what was the act that passed that like law from happening? Like wasn't there something that
The
I think
Patriot Act.
the Patriot Act, that's what I'm thinking about.
the
Okay.
Patriot Act,
Yeah.
the Patriot Act birthed basically Homeland, right, and it expanded powers to exist in agencies like the NSA, and the NSA became solidified and then the FISA courts, which basically said, "Fuck the Constitution, we'll do a court session in secret. You won't even know we're having a court session about you, and a judge in secret will sign a warrant, and we can come get you, and we never have to disclose what your crime is." And we don't have to disclose to the public because it's sealed information because it is a FISA court. So we won't know why you were prosecuted. You don't get the same benefits. You don't get a jury. You don't get a lawyer. Sometimes you get a lawyer, but you never get a jury.
Mhm.
It's decided by that judge. And usually they don't even tell you, they do it without you present and determine you're guilty and then come get you.
Yeah. Huh.
So It's basically China, but with more steps. And it's not open. It's secretive. It's quiet. They know about the program, but they don't really go into details, and they don't want you to. They don't want you to think about it and study it and understand the law. They don't want that. That hurts them.
Who are they?
The government,
The government.
both parties. Yes, straight up. Sorry, when I say they, I'm referencing the U.S. government and the systems that back that government: the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Democrats, the Republicans, former presidents, current presidents. They've always had one main interest alive, which is the existence of their governance. That is their right at the end of the day. Beyond of the debates about who they send money to, who's their voters, who's their funders, at the end of the day, the core goal of everyone in government is to keep their governance alive.
To keep their governance alive. So
Right.
governance as in meaning like what exactly?
Being able to be in the Senate, being able to be in their position of
Oh,
power,
so
being able
having
to assert their authority over individuals and the state. And it's a constant battle.
so they like that power. They want to be in that power, and they don't go against what the government is standing for because they want to keep that spot and be in power. Is that kind of a dumb way to
Right,
put it?
exactly. They will America will do super shady, heinous shit, some insane shit that America has done and we know about. The shit that we do know about that's public is so insane that it's like, what would they not share with us to this day? Right,
What's
and that's
crazy?
why one of the big movements of our lifetime was the Freedom of Information Act. That was a huge one because they said, okay, now the citizens can file paperwork and demand information, and if it's not actively classified and it's just sitting in the archives, it can be released with that request.
What information would that be?
Anything you want. That's why you're able to obtain your body cam footage. That's why you're able to obtain things through the Freedom of Information Act. You're able to obtain things you normally couldn't. You're able to obtain old CIA records that are declassified and they just don't publish them. They're just sitting in an archive. You can say, hey, I want information regarding these operations. Okay, sign the paperwork and here you go. So the Freedom of Information Act was a huge win for the public, but there's still a lot of work to do.
Like freedom of information, it doesn't have to be your personal information, but it could be any information that
It's
is
information
allowed
regarding the government. It's information regarding the government.
regarding the government.
Right.
So
Regarding the
if
government, seeing things that have not been right, old CIA programs, old CIA classified material that was declassified but then never published publicly, right? Like, oh, this operation is no longer classified because it's no longer needed to be a secret. We can open up about it, but we're not going to go to the public and tell them, hey, it's been declassified. We'll just
oh,
declassify it and it'll sit there quietly. So then someone will go, hey, I have an Freedom of Information Act request for this, and they'll say, okay, well, it's not classified, so here you go. We have to, and we
interesting.
can't just reclassify it unless there's a valid reason.
So it has to be declassified for us to obtain that information, right?
Hmm.
Interesting. When did that pass, or when did that get in?
I don't remember what year it was, but it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, huh? That's
It was in
interesting.
the 2000s.
I'm gonna say, well, this is interesting just to listen and like you've been doing a really good job educating me about like all this stuff. But I'm gonna probably get off here. But if you have any closing statements,
Oh,
I'll give you something to
no, that's
say
fine.
say last.
Whenever you're live again, I'll try to hop in more. I've seen you live a
Yeah,
couple times. I haven't hopped in yet.
it's always great. This is the second time I believe we talked, and I think we need to get to
Yes.
scientific determination and predetermination or predetermination with you. 'Cause I think we were talking about that when you were up,
Yeah,
and
last time I was here, we talked about scientific
yeah,
determinism and
determinism.
stoicism and all of that. Yeah.
Yes. I'd love to get into that because that's more into my realm of stuff that I like to explore. When it comes to
Oh, we could
politics,
do that. That's fine.
no, it's always well, it's good to talk about this stuff because for one, I'm being more informed and it's helping me become a better person just to know what this stuff is
Do you
about,
like
right?
history?
I like history. I don't educate myself about history too much. There's so much stuff to like educate myself
I
on.
will say that I will say this: if you like history, use that as a stepping stone, right? Get more into history because then what you'll come to realize is you notice patterns in modern day that reflect on history. But then not only that, you realize that what is happening now is history, right? Whether it's positive or negative is irrelevant. It's history nonetheless. So then you start paying attention more because you're seeing not only what historically has happened, but now you're seeing what is happening now, and you can make comparisons, and then you care more. And it's like, oh well, it's all connected. It's not this distant thing in a textbook with old photos. Like how in history class they show the civil rights movement in black and white photos, but that's on purpose because actually color photo existed, and that was the most common form of photograph was in color. Most of the photos that you see are in color, but they do that to make it seem long ago and not important and
Oh,
not relevant.
interesting. I didn't. Why? Well, that's interesting that they would do that just because of that.
It's on purpose. It's to make it. You don't. They don't. The civil rights movement was a very dark point in American history, and the American government isn't really looking to highlight that as much as possible. So, in order to kind of create some distance, they do all the photos in black and white to make you think, oh, it was so long ago. The 1960s was super long ago.
Oh,
That's way before our time. Most of our parents were born in the 1960s. It's not that
right,
long ago. Not that
right.
long ago. So,
Interesting.
and then
That's
all the
their.
photos were actually in color. They just made it black and white.
So that's their way of like psychologically just like messing with us, like with time, to
Yeah.
essentially.
So you dismiss it and it's not as important to you. Oh, why am I looking at this black and white photo? It's clearly old. It has no importance to today's society. That's what they want. They don't want you to see the link and that it wasn't that long ago. And a lot of those senators who are against these civil rights acts are still around, and their children are still in government right now.
Yeah. Interesting. Ooh. You're really fun to talk to, and I appreciate you just for like educating and just like talking about all this different stuff. Um, but
But
that's
we can always go back to philosophical too. That's fine. But yeah, no, if
yes,
you ask me a political
it's
thing, I'll dive into it head first because I love politics.
right. It's like I said, it's interesting to hear, and I just am not as an active participant. It's good getting different people up here to talk about stuff. So that's why what I enjoyed like having a couple other people and Kirby, of course, being around. Um, but Kirby, are you still around, Kirby? Kirby. He might have last time I had him up. He went to sleep. Um,
I bet Kirby. I put Kirby to sleep. I put people to sleep. It happens.
no.
Soothing with boring topic rants.
This is good. This is good. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll have to talk about other stuff in the future. And you're more than welcome to come up.
All right. Well, thanks for having me up again. Appreciate you letting me ramble for an hour.
Oh, you're good, man. This is amazing. So I appreciate you coming up and talking. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your night.
Good night.
All right. Bye bye.